What's up, everybody? It's your man's KJ the Great, dropping another edition of All Sports Media TV. But first, I want to say, I hope and pray everything is great your way. Now, we about to talk about it. Now, spoke on this fight a little while back, and you guys tuned in heavily, and I thank you. Thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button and share button. We about to get it in. So, we're talking about the newly crowned IBF welterweight champion, none other than Jaron Boots Ennis, and his so said it's his opponent. We're gonna call it. We're gonna speak it into existence to make sure it happens. And that is Mario Elasteca Barrios. They were scheduled or working out a deal to get the fight made for March 30th, and it was going to be on the undercard of the PBC's first event with Amazon Prime. Now, you guys know the PBC signed with Amazon Prime as Showtime got out the sport of boxing. Um, it was 37 great years. We've seen some of the greatest fights ever go down in that time, but now they're out, just like HBO. They're out. They've been out longer, and you know the Showtime. They're out as altogether. Now let's talk about this. All right, so Jerron Boots Ennis, he was the IBF mandatory interim champion, and he was lobbying for the fight with Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, the winner of that. But they had a rematch clause, and we don't know what's gonna be of that. So, when Terrence Crawford won the IBF, they do not recognize or concede to rematch clauses, as they've already made that clear across all weight classes. And so they stripped Terrence Crawford 2 months after he won. He beat Earl Spence in their highly anticipated showdown last July, and elevated Jerron Boots Ennis to the full champion. Now, of course, Bozy Ennis, his father, came out and spoke and said, same thing that he said. It's not the way he wanted to win it, but ultimately he's the champion. So now he has to go out, defend it, and make it known that he's here to be great. Um, let's talk about Mario Elasteca Barrios, so I can remind you guys real quick. If you don't remember, he had that pretty impressive fight with Javante Tank Davis, although he was ultimately stopped in that fight. Tank Davis's power is just different. He was stopped late in that fight. And then he went on, he had a fight with Keith one time Thurman. In that fight, he had a lot of success fighting Keith Thurman going to the body, but the problem was his defensive skills weren't up to par in that fight. And you can see Keith Thurman, kind of tattooing him up, peppering him with shots. You know, Keith Thurman won a unanimous decision in that fight. I'll just get straight to the case. But he hurt Keith Thurman several times in that fight to the body. Now, since then, he went on to have an eighth round TKO over Giovanni Santiago, which that was his first fight back since the Keith Thurman fight. And he looked strong, he looked good, he looked fast, he looked sharp. And thought, this is the Mario Barrios that we're gonna see going forward. Then he had a fight with former WBA champion Urdanis Ugas, and he dominated that fight. He dominated Urdanis Ugas almost every round of that fight, in my opinion. I was gonna say almost every round, not every round, but almost every round. He dominated that fight, and he definitely showed that he can be on the championship top tier level. Now, with Jaron Boots Ennis, he's been lobbying for the top guys to fight all the top guys and interim champions and whoever is willing to step up and step in the ring. He had not his best showing, which in a lot of people they view it as a weakness. He when he fought Karen Chuakadazine, he got a unanimous decision in that fight, but he struggled to cut off the ring. Karen Chuakadazine, he just seemed like he was there for a paycheck. I'll be honest. He was moving around. He didn't commit to nothing. In the little exchanges. Jaron Boots Ennis got the better of all the exchanges, so I pretty much gave him a shutout in that fight. Then he had a fight with Roy Monvilla. Now, a lot of you might not remember Rashidi Ellis and Roy Monvilla fought. Roy, Rashidi Ellis won the early parts of that fight, but Roy Monvilla came on strong. A little bit midway and all the way through the rest of the fight, he dropped Rashidi Ellis a couple times and ultimately won the fight. Now, with this fight, I picked Jaron Boots Ennis um, to win the fight. No later than the 11th round. I just felt like Jaron Boots Ennis' skill set will be on display. His footwork, his hand speed, his defensive ability would all be on display, and it was. He ended up stopping Roy Monvilla in the 10th round. He was just in there having fun, throwing his hands, letting his hands go, showcasing what he can do in the ring, and it was on full display. Now, we're going to talk about this fight. Jaron Boots Ennis, he's 31 wins, no losses, no draw, with 28 wins by way of knockout. Mario Barrios is 28 wins, 2 losses, no draw, with 18 wins by way of knockout. So we got 2 good punches in this fight. Definitely a great fight, I think. They're trying to get this fight, and I'll say this, they're trying to get this fight set for May 4th on the undercard of Canelo, which for both Mario Barrios and Jaron Boots Ennis, that does a lot for their careers. If whoever, I'll just say that I'm not gonna give my final predictions yet, but whoever wins this fight is gonna have a massive crowd looking at them. The world will be looking at them because this is a Canelo card. We know Canelo does massive numbers every time Cinco de Mayo weekend comes around, every time Mexican Independence weekend comes around. His numbers are always through the roof. So they're gonna have eyes across the world on them. And this is why I think this is going to be the perfect fight for Jaron Boots Ennis to display his skills, the perfect fight for Mario Barrios to display his skills. The fight would have been March 30th, but um, Mario Barrios had a birth in his family. I believe it was the birth of his daughter, so he felt he needed more time, and that's what Bozy Ennis, Jaron Boots Ennis' father, trainer, manager, confirmed in an interview. They say he needed more time. That March 30th wasn't enough time, so they're back working behind the scenes, as confirmed by Bozy Ennis. So you guys need to know that source, as confirmed by Bozy Ennis. They are working behind the scenes to get this fight made for May 4th. I think this is going to be an explosive fight. I think definitely this is going to be one of the best fights on the card. This might even outdo the main event, depending on who Canelo chooses to fight. Looking like he may fight Jamal Charlo, but we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I just want to know, what do you guys think about this fight? I think this is going to be an epic fight. Um, now that they both have more time to train, more time to put work in camp, definitely going to be explosive. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every one of you guys. Also, I will be coming out soon with a big announcement for some merch. You see these shirts right here, God and Grind. We going up. Let's do it.